Welcome back to the Will Reads for season 6, episode 18.
Something.
Sure. 18. Who's counting? We're getting close to the end. It's building, but we're getting there. We're like
right at the precipice.
Yeah, we're about a month and a half away from finishing this book. About
so we'll be done around Christmas time.
Yeah, because we're gonna probably take at least a break for at least a week, because I don't know if Chris wants to record on his honeymoon.
That's
better on the chapters. Chanel might want to.
There
you go. It'll be up to Alan to actually where we will be, because we're literally only going to Crabtree Fall this year. We're gonna make a road trip next year.
Only that's not an only.
That's not an only. Crabtree Falls is beautiful.
It is beautiful, awesome. But where we're going, there will be no internet.
Did you know that Crabtree Falls is the tallest or longest waterfall on east of the Mississippi?
No, I had
not as far as water volume. Of course, Niagara Falls has a lot more water volume, but as far as height to an elevation goes, Crabtree Falls, Virginia, it's really. It's funny. My son and I, we hiked up it a couple of years ago, and he was a lot younger, but he was determined. And I was like, "Dude, you're really getting it." And like, he got to the very top, and I didn't realize he had a rock in his hand the entire time. Gets to the very top and throws a rock into the waterfall. He did the whole thing just to do that. I was like, "Yes, you are my son." He's like, "I'll just see what happens. I throw a rock down there."
Watch out below.
And I'm like, I want to see too. Come on, like looking over the edge. Well, first couple of housekeeping. We do have one new patron. So Robin, thank you. Robin, thank you.
Like
Robin.
Robin?
Robin.
No.
Like Robin.
You're almost
like Robin going to bring Batman? Is Batman coming too?
For real.
I don't know.
Sorry. I like Robin all by Robin's self. We don't need Batman.
Couple of fun statistics. We did cross the 270,000 download threshold.
Wow.
So we're getting close to 300,000. Had a pretty big jump recently because a couple of things going on, which I'll get to in a second. But we also have some giveaways going on right now. By the time this episode comes out on the podcast in a week from today, the first one will be done. But we have a giant giveaway going on Twitter right now for a free hardcover copy of a Wheel of Time book of your choice. And I've done these in the past. I mean, that's not a new thing we give away, but this one just like kind of went crazy. Like we've had a whole lot more retweets than we normally get. Like normally we get like about like maybe 50 people
into it, man. The show has geared up and it's like everybody's anticipating season 2. So
it's getting exciting. Yeah.
Watch them all be from countries that are like the most expensive to ship to.
I'll
we gotta do
books.
We gotta do
all right. So I'll give away my secret for the hardcover books. I just go to Amazon.com and order the hardcover book and ship it directly to you. So in the United States, it's free shipping. It's usually pretty cheap. But guess what? If you're overseas, you can just type in like Amazon.uk or Amazon.au or wherever you're from, and then you don't have to pay the US shipping because they'll just order it from their country right to them. So as long as they have hardcover copies in their country, otherwise, that's how I do that for the hardcover. Cool. I mean, I could give away one of my books. Now I have extra hardcover copies.
Oh yeah, I saw the picture of it. That's so fantastic.
Yeah, it's let's see if I can get see over there.
Ooh,
yeah, right there, the bookshelf.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's pretty.
So it's really pretty. That was a surprise. Like my in-laws decided that they wanted to just give me something. There's no special occasion. It's not my birthday. It's not Christmas. Like my wife just said, like, hey, what hardcover copies books of Wheel of Time don't you have? And I gave her the list of the hardcover copies I don't have. I've got a bunch of paperbacks because they fall apart. I have all these guys. And they just bought all of them. They just went ahead and bought all the hardcover copies. So I got a big box in the mail from my in-laws of all the New Spring to Memory of Light, every single.
They're like, you provided us with 3 grandchildren. The least we could do was get you some books.
Here you go.
So I was super excited just to get. So I have multiple hardcover copies now of Wheel of Time, some of the Wheel of Time books. And then a couple days later in the mail, I got this other package from them, and I was like, it said Juniper Books on it. I was like, oh, they got me the really cool covers. So they also bought me the matching set that makes it look pretty on your shelf. So yay! I love you, my in-laws. Awesome. I guess I I could have said like, yeah, fans sent it to me. I guess the in-laws are a fan of me, so hey, that's good, right?
They're fans.
At least they're coming to terms and accepting you. Yeah,
exactly. They're accepted for who I
minimum.
am, and like, you know what?
Right.
We're not going to change them. We might as well just embrace it and give them geek stuff. And I'm like, hey, I'm all for it.
Perfect.
So other things going on. Twitter of Time Awards coming up November 5th. Ian and Chris asked if they can come watch it. Most of it, no.
People were super jealous. We get the inside, like we know potential people, and I wanted to spoil it for y'all, but just know we're super jealous. Even
we have some pretty big names. Yeah, we have some pretty big names coming up for that, so it's going to be pretty big. I just slide into everyone's DMs, like some pretty big, not just content creators, but people that are bigger than content creators. Let's put it that way. And I get answers.
Yeah, they're responding.
And they responded. I was like, "Ooh, I feel good." So you got some pretty big stuff that's going to be surprised for the actual show. November 5th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Twitter of Time Awards, hosted by the Will Reeds, myself, and Malkier Talks, Rob. It will be behind the scenes doing all the producing of that. So he actually puts it on. I just put a tux on and talk for a few hours, and then actually I only do the monologue, and then people present, and I don't really do much else. So it's presented by me, but that's not really much of what I do. I do all the behind the scenes stuff for it. So that's coming up. I'm excited about that. We had, I don't know, almost 1,000 different nominations this year. It was different character profiles, or about 600 character profiles, but then people nominated multiple times, like 1,000 nominations. It was a lot to sift through. We're still waiting on one more to accept their nomination, and then we got our finalist slots all done. And I might tweet all those out on who the finalists on the 11 categories, but we'll get there. I see a kitty cat that kind of tried blurredly on the screen.
We need a cat / dog giveaway, so that yeah, so this guy can win.
Well, there is a Twitter account called Watt Pets. Yeah, Watt Pets on Twitter. It's a Twitter handle. Go follow them and you can share pictures of your pets to all the Wheel of Time community. Watt Pets. And I got my puppy in the room with me, so if you hear her barking or do anything, yeah, she's right down here.
I just heard ear flapping. There was a head shake.
I did too. Yeah,
oh, there she is.
Hello.
Like
gray beard coming in.
Yeah, she's coming in. She has her head on my lap while I'm doing this. So if you see me like moving around a lot, it's because I'm petting her. She's a cute puppy. So yeah, that's all for the announcement. So personal life. Last weekend I was really not doing anything to do with any of this podcast or anything in life, because I was at a bachelor party, and then I went to a wedding and Ian was there, and we had a lot of fun there. So it was a very alcohol filled weekend between the wedding and the bachelor party. So Thursday during the day, I drove up to Ocean City, Maryland for a concert that didn't happen because of the hurricane. And but we still drank a lot and had a lot of fun. And then I drove all the way back to go to another party for a wedding. So it was I didn't get anything done as far as like I edited everything last night. I stayed up to like 2:00 in the morning last night editing. So I put an episode out this morning.
Crazy.
Yeah, so that got that going for me. And then as far as and then the fridge thing. Did I tell you about that last week? I had the whole fridge to buy.
Yeah.
So we finally got a new fridge, and it makes like craft ice. So you see, like it has like the little like craft the balls of ice. It makes it. So like I can have fancy ice in my Dark and Stormies now, which is awesome. And then just
you
to
like
make things
select
more
Death Star ice, and you get a little Death Star ball. Like how fancy does it get?
Be a lot cooler if it did, man. And then as far as everything else going on, just to make things even more complicated, this weekend on Friday night, I drive down to the beach. I'm at the beach through Monday night, and then I drive back. My kids and wife stayed down at the beach, and then I joined my in-laws at the beach, same beach, just different house, all next week. So I'll be recording live in 2 weeks from the Outer Banks, North Carolina. Nice. So I'll be beaching it up in this now cold, wet, horrible weather. But hey, it's getting away from the house. And it's gonna be fun. So that's going to
fall at the beach is a lot of fun. I think
I like enjoy. I mean, someone that grew up going to the beach in the summertime and during the off season because we live so close. Like if you guys didn't know this, listen to our podcast. Like all of us live like within like a stone's throw from Virginia Beach.
Yes.
So
right down the beach, man.
Yeah, right into the beach. So we go there all the time, and off season's where it's at. Don't have to deal with all the crazy.
Yeah, it's quiet.
From Pennsylvania. I'm looking at you, Pennsylvania. I don't know why you come to our beaches, but I'm looking at you, Pennsylvania.
They all showed up this year. Bunch of Stillers fans.
They come out of the woodwork in the summer to like Virginia and North Carolina beaches. Like every other license plate's Pennsylvania. I don't know what it is, but that's all I got going on in my world. What about you guys?
Mine's pretty short and sweet. Like Alan said, we went to a wedding from a high school friend. I know Alan has stayed in touch with him a little bit better than I have, but with joining the Army and moving around, I was really bad about staying in touch with people. So there were a handful of folks that I have not seen since 2005. And it was very cool linking up with them. So I had a lot of fun, hit the dance floor with all the kids, almost knocked a couple kids out on the dance floor, because I was doing my moves. I was getting ready for Chris's wedding, so I had to throw down.
You were moving surprisingly well, considering you just had a ribbon cutting. I mean, I was surprised.
Yeah. So I don't know if you could notice, but I went full jock strap with like a sock stuffed underneath to give it maximum support, and then it was like wrapped in gauze. And I just left a little bit of an opening for when I needed to go to the bathroom. Like I wasn't going to risk that stuff moving around. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I said it on the last episode, but I got a vasectomy. And also I believe I have some sort of resistance to lidocaine. My last couple of dental procedures, they couldn't really numb me up, and I felt every bit of it. When I got my back injection, I gave you all that story and did not numb up at all. When they did the local anesthetic down yonder, I felt all of it. And she said she had already used double what she normally gives, and she didn't want to do any more because she said I'd swell up so much. So like it kind of worked. Like it wasn't torture, but it was definitely painful. I won't even get into it because I'll start feeling nauseous. Anyways, it was pretty bad, but got it done. Yeah.
I threw this up here too. Just someone did ask this question about the TV show. We have talked about it on the podcast. We haven't done a full episodes about the TV show. We're a book podcast.
Yeah, but when we're doing this and the show's coming out, we definitely talk about it because how can you not?
Yeah.
But then we get back into the books.
Yeah.
It's more of the patron conversation as well. Who knows? Maybe second season will be worth it.
Yeah. I'd be risky to get so heavy in it because the show differs from the books just enough that you could talk about that forever.
Yeah, you could do a whole podcast just on that. In fact, there is podcasts just on that.
I'm sure people do that.
There are other ones like Talker Ron Riyadh is a showcast. There's a couple of like podcasts out there that all they do is focus on the show. And we decided that space is already kind of taken. Not that we don't have our opinions and we didn't watch it. We all did. We did a watch party with our patrons as well for the season premiere, and we did it live on Zoom. So I mean we'll do stuff for season 2 too, and we'll talk about it. So yeah.
Also, you can notice that I'm still in the barracks. They haven't done my final orders. If they would have extended me one more time because I've been extended so much, it would have had to go up to like some 2-star general to sign. Or if they were going to finalize me out, the local commander can sign off on the final orders. So they went that route and said, instead of trying to explain to some 2-star why I'm still here. But they haven't completed those orders yet. So technically my orders ended September 24th. But since I'm leaving active duty until I get my 214, like I can't go anywhere. So it's weird. I also haven't been paid. Like my end of month pay was missing that whole week. And I still haven't got that yet. So yay, I love it here.
Yeah.
Call your congressman and help me, please.
For me,
so Chris, we're how many days? How many days?
We are 17 days from the wedding.
17 days from the wedding. Okay.
Yes. And our life has been consumed with kittens and finalizing. And I was joining this organization, which I will not talk about because, I'm still in the running for next year, but looking to join an organization. Everybody that voted for me and heard my interview thought I was in. And then I guess I pissed off one wrong person for because I didn't bringing them alcohol or something when they wanted it. And that one person put the kibosh on it. He just happened to be the pole mark. So probably should have kissed up to him a little bit.
Was it Illuminati?
It'd be like that sometimes.
Trying to join the Illuminati over here. We got the
so needless to say, literally, I've had like 5 or 6 of their members of the organization come up and congratulate me, and I'm like, "What are you congratulating me on?" He's like, "Are you telling me you didn't make it in?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." He's like, "Well, at the vote, they were." Well, I can't talk about that, but I have questions, and I have had people advocating for me after the fact. And I'm like, "Well, it doesn't do me any good now." But thank you.
I was wondering why you were practicing your bricklaying skills so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, it is what it is. Next year.
Yeah.
You two are so. Cats are such the weirdest animals. Never want anything to do with me, and now that I don't want anything to do with them, all over my shit. Give me that. That's mine.
Yep.
That's how that works.
Give me a dog any day, people. Give me a dog any day. The smallest dog, the biggest dog. I love these cats, but
are they messing with your microphone right now?
Yeah, everything. There's just
get a little spray bottle.
Yeah,
they don't. These kittens like the spray. I gotta find like one that's got a sharp shooter.
Get a super soaker.
Yeah, Nerf gun.
Yeah.
Oh, they love that.
Yeah, actually,
he's shooting toys at us.
Yeah. Yes,
my cat would go insane if I got a Nerf gun. Just anyway.
Medicated gummies.
Yeah, now that might work. I'm gonna send a picture to the group. Anyway, that's been
all
my
right.
life.
Yep, sounds good. You guys ready to jump on into when battle begins and no battle actually happens?
Yeah, that was kind of a weird.
I was so excited. I got to the last page of this chapter and I was like, wait a minute.
Wait.
What the heck is this shit? This is officially worse than Choices.
I don't know though. The battle kind of did begin. The mental battle.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Not really. I'm just trying to make something up. I'm just trying to make it worth my time,
Yeah.
It really wasn't.
So yeah, this chapter is chapter 37 when battle begins, and we have the Adam as our chapter symbol. So the leash and the collar.
My goodness, I was wondering what that was.
Yeah,
I can't believe I'm staring at it like a large bearing and a small bearing. Like what's
with a rope in between?
Yeah.
So So we start still at Eggy's point of view. Nynaeve and Elaine are still in the room or in the office. And this is when they make the big confession that the reason why we've been learning all this stuff, and are so good is because we might have captured a Forsaken, and she might still be here. Maybe.
It's still.
I actually imagine them. I imagine them doing that in the high pitched voice, also. I have a confession to make.
It kills me that she's just now learning about this. It kind of just didn't even dawn on me that they haven't seen her in the dream world in so long.
Yeah. Like all of the really important stuff Egwene did not know about. But also, even if they had met in the dream world, is this something they would have risked talking about, without it being face to face?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't know who's listening to Dream World, and you also don't know what Eggy might have report back to the Wise Ones, how close they were, and what's the implications of that. And
this was probably the biggest of the many big things going on that was worth them keeping to themselves.
Yeah. So, but of course, Egwene orders them to bring Maggette to her right now. And while they're waiting for that, Egwene speaks about her plan for the White Tower. About how she wants to make it open to all channelers. How the Aes Sedai have been kind of like snobs about it. They don't let people past a certain age become Aes Sedai. And she's like, I want to bring all those walls down.
Or if they can only barely channel, they send them off. Like if they don't reach a certain level or whatever.
We got the last battle coming. We're gonna train everybody we can. We need everybody we can. And we'll bring the Aiel in, and they're like, "What about the Sea Folk?" Yeah, we'll bring them too. Because are you sure that might not be a good idea? And she's like, "I mean, we can make some kind of concessions, I guess." But
was it Elaine that was a little more defensive of letting the Sea Folk?
Yeah, because she made a pact.
Right.
Yeah, because she made a pact with them, like saying, "Hey, I learned your trick or whatever that you can channel, but I'm not gonna tell. I swore that you would never be taken by Aes Sedai because we know,
I would. So when I was reading that, and I'm considering like all the channelers, even if they were Sea Folk or IO, whatever, coming under and joining with the tower. If I think about pre-Egwene Tower, I think absolutely not. That's a horrible idea. Because the more I get into the politics, the Aes Sedai, we've already talked about my issues with the Oath Rod and all that jazz. Like, you're just limiting yourself more. But maybe under an Egwene administration where they can join but not have to conform as much. Certainly don't do the Oath Rod. Maybe it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep them separate because she already learned that the IEO, while they channel, they do things differently and they have different strengths. So it'd be better to partner with that.
I was agreeing with you. She literally said some things they do essentially more efficiently.
Right.
Some of the way they're weaving is just it's simpler, more efficient, but it works just as well, if not better. So that's a huge plus.
So you don't want to just reel them all in and be like, do it our way. Now you're part of us. Like, you want that creativity and those other options.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. And after all this conversation, Nynaeve returns with an older looking woman who Egwene's kind of shocked. Is like, and I guess I said, this is Margan. And they're like, that's a Forsaken. Like, they're like, wait, she's putting disguise on. Let me show you. And takes her disguise off. Oh, okay. Yeah, there she is. Okay, that makes more sense now.
Well, it's like then she learns about inverting the weaves and how to hide them. And so, again, it still boggles me that these are things that they hadn't shared yet. But, I mean, I guess their time was so limited when they did meet in the dream world.
What do you think? Go ahead.
How about this, Chris? I was expecting Egwene to have a much more negative response to the IDOM. And maybe even being so disgusted by it that, like, this isn't even something I'd wish on my worst enemies, sort of thing. And she does mention it briefly, like, oh, it kind of gives me the shivers, but also she definitely took advantage of it in the control they had over Megideon. But I just, with her experience, I thought it would be more negative, more, oh, why are we doing this?
She also kind of made terms with it in the sense of like, well, this isn't really exactly an IDOM. It's similar. It does the same thing, but it's not like the one I wore. I think she kind of justified it so many ways.
Yeah.
That she was okay with it.
Makes you think, though, like, even fighting against evil or what you perceive as evil, like, not everything is okay.
No.
Right? It's like, where do you draw the line? And that was the most traumatic experience Egwene has had so far, and it was pretty rough. And she only kind of just passively goes, ooh, I don't like this. I get, gives me the shivers, heebie-jeebies. Oh, well, but let me use it. So I don't know. I wonder if that's going to bother her more as we move on, or if she just takes advantage of it fully.
Yeah.
Meh.
And eventually Egwene does take the bracelet as well, and informs Megideon that she will not be as nice as Elaine and Nynaeve was. I think its direct quote was, "Set 1 foot wrong with me, and I will make you beg for death." Basically, like.
So, whose leadership style is she imitating there? I don't know that she's so creative that she's just 100% making this up on the fly. I mean, most of us, when we get put in positions like that, we try to imitate something we've learned or seen. Like, I felt a little Swan action there.
I did too, for sure.
Yeah.
That definitely screams Swan to me.
Yeah.
Could be wrong completely, but I agree with you.
Yeah, the wise ones, their threats, while they were harsh, they were different. It was a "you'll be sorry," but not like a "because we're going to do anything to you." Yeah, and the way their whole G and toe thing works, it's more that you'll end up punishing yourself, not that we're going to punish you, sort of thing. So that was a different vibe, but this felt very Swan-like. Like, don't test me, not even a little bit. I could put a smile on my face. I could also snap you in two.
100%. So then after that, Egwene decides to teach her some things that she's learned, or at least show off some things, because they start talking about gateways.
This was great.
Yeah.
I don't even think Mogadine had really finished her sentence on how it's supposed to be done. And Egwene goes, "Oh, you mean like this?" Bam! And snaps one, and everybody in the room's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. And Morgana's reaction to it, I think, was priceless too. She's like, "Where did you learn that?" She goes, "Meh."
It's like, who are you? Like that. I felt like there was something more behind that. Like this is one of those moments that we can't just excuse or ignore.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like,
who
oh,
are
this is a
you?
little rare. I think Mogadine realizes either you have to be someone exceptional or you've tapped into some sort of exceptional power.
Yeah.
Or this
It's
was
who
like
are
a
you in
lost art.
past
This
life or something.
right. Yeah. Because
Mhm.
maybe Mogadine knows, like, all right, Mogadine probably knew the people left in existence that could do that. And in her mind, she's probably like, well, none of them would have taught you. So how did you figure this out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And what a great strategy by Egwene. And she brings this up in her continued lecture to Mogadine with the whole, like, don't even attempt to lie to me. Sometimes I might ask you something and already know the answer just to see if you're going to fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do, your ass is mine. Like,
yep.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, what do you think about all this interaction? I mean, any final thoughts about this before she sends Mogadine away? I mean, it's obviously some setup here. There's definitely some questions as far as where this is going to go, especially with Egwene's feelings towards the Adam, and then also just having a Forsaken in camp. And we've talked about that tremendously, but
man, I still think at some point, like, Mogadine either gets away or I don't think she's going to do the Asmodean and eventually get on their side.
mm-hmm.
I feel like she's just too sneaky. Even if she did, it would be for the purpose of, escape and doing what she wants down the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yep. So after this, Egwene sends Mogadine away. Swan enters in the room right after that, and Nynaeve and Elaine leave because it's time for Swan to teach Egwene how to be an Armelin. Which I do. It's a short interaction, but it's a good one where basically, Egwene says, hey, let me just break it down for you. The whole point of me doing this is that we're going to make me so people view me as an Armelin, not as just some puppet. And Swan agrees. She's like,
yeah.
I can't remember exactly what fish.
What was her fish quote? Yeah,
it's not
some sort of
they
had to be a pike.
They thought they got a guppy, but they got a silver pike instead, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes. The shoot, I liked that quote so much.
Yeah, it was a good quote. I mean, in Swan sees it that
yes,
they done messed up by getting it going.
They made a very bad mistake, didn't they? Of course, I made it first. The plump little grunter for the table turns out to be a live silver pike as long as your leg.
Yep. And I got a long leg.
I shouldn't have grunter. Croaker.
Yeah.
Croakers.
And Egwene is perfect here. She's like, by the way, Swan, I'm not asking you to do this. I'm telling you to do this. This is what's going to happen.
Thank you, Skeeter. There's the quote. Something fish, something net, something fish. Yes, that's
perfect. I wasted my time looking it up. You nailed it. Should have just waited. I think what's really satisfying about this scene was Egwene essentially putting her foot down and be like, Swan, this is the way it's going to be. And it's clicking for Swan. She's like, in her mind, you can tell she's like, no, this is the way it's got to be. And this is beneficial to me, to her, to everybody. So normally if somebody told Swan up until this point, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. I mean, we know Swan's attitude. She's not going to like that from anybody. Mm-hmm. But like the light went off at Swan's head and she's like, damn right, this is the way it's going to be. How can I serve? And gives like a legit curtsy, bow sort of thing. And I'm like, oh, this is good.
Well, and she even admits it. She's like, you know what? At one point I thought for sure, but now I realize that you're probably just as bad as I am.
Yeah.
Like the fact that she
I see you and me, and this is going to be funny.
She's like, this is going to be awesome, guys. I can't wait. And I mean, you also have to look at the interaction between Egwene and Nynaeve and Elaine. Like she just missed them, and they just answered, "Yes, ma'am, got you." She's like, when I take the stole off, then we're just friends. But the minute it comes on, remember your place.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I like it.
Yeah. And then we have a couple quick switches between characters after this. So we switch to Ramada's point of view, where she and her supporters are holding a meeting, and they're just kind of wondering where Delena is, which is interesting. It kind of switches back and forth between all these different like meetings and things like that. Lelane's is halfway across Salidar, holding her own meeting, and she's wondering where Delana is. Everyone's wondering where Delana is, and she's the dark friend.
Yeah.
So everyone's kind of wondering where she is.
Chat is a parent who we're gonna have issues
doing dark friend stuff.
Yeah, dude, dark friend stuff. Yeah, because then finally switches to Delana's point of view, and Delana's like meeting with Halima / Aguinar. Yeah, or Arengar, not Aguinar, Arengar. I think Osengar is Aguinar and Arengar is Thamiel. I might be backwards, but anyway, yeah. So Delena tries to make her seem like she can't support every faction, and they have to be careful because they'll be caught.
Yeah.
And it says and
don't you understand? If I continue to try supporting every faction, they will catch me out sooner or later. Everyone must take some risk, and you will continue to press for gentling Logain. So why is the focus on Logain? What does Rand have to gain from Logain? Is really the bigger question, because we know they're trying to. Go ahead.
If they gentle Logain, that's going to make them an enemy of Rand. I think this is an attempt to keep Rand from getting more power.
Very true.
Because how does Rand forgive that?
Yes.
I mean, that's his first big decree that he just made from border to border all over the world. He's like, this is my thing. All male channelers can come to me. It's not.
I mean, they could do it in silence and then pretend like he never actually gained his power back. Would then be their word against his.
Yeah, but you got the dark friends here that would spread the news, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe so. All of this is somehow it's not going to go smooth, no matter what people decide to do.
I mean, what's the title of the book?
Yeah, Lord of Chaos. In the process of going after Logain gets unshielded or something, and then somehow he uses his power to free Megideon, and then somehow they tag team and become partners to like go wreck.
Now that I don't see.
No, I mean I don't necessarily. I'm not really voting for that, but that would fit in Lord of Chaos. Like
very true.
Just when Egwene's like, all right, I got a handle on all of this, everything blows up and goes wrong in her face.
Yeah, I can see that. I do like your initial idea of if they steal him again, then we'll have some big issues with Rand. That I believe.
That's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And and then
oh wait. What happens when Matt finds out Logain is, or if Matt finds out Logain is there and that Logain can channel? I know Matt tries not to get too much in the politics of everything, but Rand is still his homeboy and Matt is aware of the decree.
Yeah.
Does Matt get involved to try and free him? I mean, or the Aes Sedai would have to do something to try and silence Matt.
I don't see that. Matt's not going to give a damn about him. I promise you that much.
Yeah,
Matt wants nothing to do with the One Power at all. He's like, look, I'm going to turn a blind eye to this and y'all handle that shit.
Yeah.
Just know when I'm ready to go, y'all can't hold me back.
Yeah, that's probably true. That sounds very Matt-like.
Yeah. And then also, Delena at this point is thinking about trying to kill Halima. So that's probably a great idea. But she knows she'll probably be the one that dies instead. She tries to do that. She's probably right. Yeah. Because she just she can as Delena's Aes Sedai, she could channel, but I don't think she'd take off Forsaken.
No.
And then we switch back to Swan's point of view again. And Swan's complaining about how Egwene never listens, but inward thinkingly at the same time, how she's gonna make Thrones shake. I mean, she's gonna be amazing.
I think from an entertainment perspective, Swan is excited to see what Egwene does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And that's all the jumping around until we get to back to Nynaeve, and then there's a lot of jumps in this chapter. Okay, so we go back to Nynaeve. Go to the notes. I'm like, good lord.
What about my block?
Yeah. What'd you say? Yeah, Nynaeve at the block. Yeah.
Jump on one leg and recite poetry to me.
Yeah, we haven't tried that yet.
Yeah. But get on one hand and it's getting ridiculous at this point. They're just trying anything. Yeah, and realizes that the Aes Sedai, are trying to get her to channel without being angry, but it's ridiculous what they're trying at this point. What Ramonda's trying with her, but yeah, they're continuing to try to work on a Nynaeve's block, and it's still not working.
When her block breaks, the flood of energy is going to just like overpour.
Yeah.
What about the last part where, as she's jumping, Ramonda is like sniffing for news, about the conversation with Egwene, and Nynaeve's like, Egwene, the Amerlin, didn't say much. Something about having to stay put in Salidar. But then in her head, it's this had better work, or Egwene was going to hear a few choice words and learn her no.
Egwene has already got stuff moving. Like, she's already mirroring exactly what Swan was doing. Putting little things here and there to get stuff started slowly but surely.
Yeah.
In a very meticulous manner.
But so when I first read it, I was like, this had better work. What, like the jumping on one leg? Like this had better work. We're continuing to try and get rid of this block.
She's got another plan. She's got a plan to manipulate all of these Aes Sedai and thinking that they're following her.
At second look, that's what I'm thinking for sure.
Yeah.
But what is the plan?
The bigger plan is to get all of the soldiers to be more or less on Rand's side, which we know.
Right.
And then also to get enough of the Aes Sedai to partner with the Black Tower so that they have the army they need during the end of war.
Yeah.
I also think there's some information finding, but also like all these people that might be plotting against Egwene, instead of doing nothing, maybe using Elaine, Nynaeve, Swan, others to feed information, and I'm doing air quotes right now, to make them think that they're in a position that they know something about Egwene, but not really.
Yeah.
Manipulate your manipulators.
So.
A lot of plots within plots. Some Days Damar going on.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yep.
Alan summarizes it in 2 words.
Yep. So, yep. And then we switch to Elaine, who is giving Shiriam the rings, or at least one of the rings, the Terangriel rings, and tells Shiriam that she thinks Egwene's worried. And Elaine also speaks with Ramonda and Lilane, and how she thinks Egwene's a little afraid of them. And Shiriam says that she will do what she can about the situation.
Yeah, they're already pitting the other sisters against each other. This is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then the final quick jump is back to Egwene, who is in her tub.
Giggity.
And she's thinking about how this is a lot better than the sweat tents and the wise ones, and she thinks the wise ones would be proud of her. So
So the sweat tents would be cool. Like, I've done steam baths, but the best part of a steam bath is the cool shower you take afterwards. Because when you come out,
ice bath,
or the ice bath afterwards. Yeah,
I love ice
like
bath.
because I sweat like crazy in those, like most people probably do. But like, I don't want to walk off with that sweat on me. It's that cool rinse afterwards. It's like, oh yeah, that's the heaven.
Yeah. Ice bath afterwards is great. Yep. So that's how we end this chapter.
It was a very eventful, uneventful chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was so much going on, but nothing really led to any form of a conclusion. I think the battle that was fought was indeed Days Damar. Like,
Psyops, the Psyops battle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look, they're all playing checkers, and Egwene's over there playing chess.
Yeah. 40
well, the
chess
best.
over here.
What wraps it up is the end, where she says she remembered hearing Rurik say, that once a battle began, a battle leader no longer had any real control of events. All you could do was sit and wait. So like it's all about the preparation and how you influence different groups and whatnot. But once it starts, so her battle,
dice.
yeah, her battle has begun.
Right. Yep. And anything else in this chapter before we switch to our next chapter with back to our good friend Matt?
Yeah, where's the parent chapter? I mean, sure. Let's go back to Matt.
Parent who?
If y'all can't tell, I'm still very hurt. I feel like we're gonna finish this book.
Are you talking about the blacksmith kid? Oh,
parent chapter. Like if you do like a quick like plow through, like I think maybe we get one parent chapter.
Yeah, he's flipping the book real fast. I think it's like chapter 45.
When you do one quick flip through, I think we're gonna get one parent chapter, maybe two. One, people. The best character in the whole series.
I didn't even catch one on that quick flip.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on to Matt.
Parents on the books anymore. His arc's done.
We have to at least hear about his puppies.
Oh yeah. So moving on to chapter 38, a sudden chill. Yeah, the dice. Ooh. Talk about ice baths. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we start with Matt. He is riding through the countryside with Avienda, Oliver, and the band. And they think they have to be close to Salidar. And he's even thinking about it. Like, he's like, how close? And then right as he's thinking that, one of the scouts, Vannon, the bigger guy, comes bursting through and is like, yep, we found it. They found us too.
Miles to the west.
And they totally found us, and they captured some of us. But we know where it is now.
Couple of warders kind of snatched us up. I don't think they killed anybody.
60 came back before. We think they're still alive.
Yeah, he's like, well, how many Aes Sedai are there? It's Matt's question. He's like, at least a few hundred. And he's like, wait, what? Rand said there'd just be like a handful. Like, there is hundreds. Like, he's like, I do not like the situation at all. Like, I do not want to do this.
We do know Rand is going crazy, so maybe it was just him not really paying attention.
Well, Rand didn't know either. Rand knew very
little
about
something. If he told Matt that there were 1,000 Aes Sedai there, you think
Matt would like, never go.
Yeah, okay.
Nope.
Matt
we know
what
the deal is.
That.
He lied. He was like, hey, Matt.
And they found out there's an entire army led by Gareth Bryn there too. And they're like, oh, fuck, this is not
great.
Good. And they're like, all right, so let's start making plans. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get in defensive positions because that way we know we're not trying to attack if we're trying to defend. So it doesn't look like we're aggressors because we don't want this army marching down us with all these Aes Sedai because we probably can't win a battle with that against that many Aes Sedai.
And as much sense as that makes, mid-sentence, Avienda was like, wait, they were
which way is it? All right, peace.
Like what?
That's like, I was only halfway through this perfect plan of mine. Daggone it.
Wipe the sand, but from between your legs, and let's move.
Yeah.
Giddy up.
Yeah, so Avienda just takes off towards Salidar, and Matt's like, all right, Talmanis, you're in charge. I'm going with her. Like,
yeah.
And yeah.
All right,
so,
Alan, who's your favorite character of these chapters?
Talmanis.
All right, fine. Now I don't want to hear it again. Let's. It's been established. He's here. Yay.
He's here. He's always here in our hearts. You'll grow to love Talmanis.
Will I?
You will. Yeah. He's very much like well, I'm not gonna give away spoilers. I compare him to Breeze from Mistborn. So
okay.
Now
anyway,
I like.
So anyway, that doesn't give away really anything because he's completely different, but very, I don't know. I just like the way he's written. So yeah, so they ride off, Avienda and Matt,
and a couple of bannermen.
Right off to Salidar. You know, when they get close, actually, was it Avienda actually wants to ride on the horse, which Matt thinks is strange.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little strange too.
Did we get a good explanation of why? I didn't really pick up on that.
No.
She just decided she wanted to be all up on Matt for a moment.
Yeah. And Matt comments on it.
She's probably trying to compose herself. She's that side straddle and everything. Very very unladylike with her dress all the way up to her knees. And
Having rode motorcycles with a significant other on the back, there is nothing better than riding, wind in your face, boobs pressed against your back. It is very comfortable.
that's
Is that how
something
you
to learn how
felt
to
when I rode the back of your bike at one time?
You can reach back with one hand, kind of give the thigh a squeeze. You've got cruise control. You can do it with two hands. It's nice.
We had so
Just
many
lean
cat
back into it.
calls in the mountains of Virginia from like rednecks driving by trucks. Just two dudes are riding a bike together. Yeah, Eden decided to be funny. That was yeah.
Well, unfortunately, you were young enough then. You didn't have boobies.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really snuggle up in them.
Yeah, we were going tubing, and we decided to leave a car down at the bottom of the river. And I asked someone to bring a car down to pick me up. And of course, here comes Ian on his motorcycle. Like, I got a car for you, buddy. I'm like,
hop on.
I brought an extra helmet. You want to ride back? It's like we're gonna get lynched up here in the mountains for.
Yep. The locals were not a fan.
No, they were not a fan of two dudes riding a bike together. But hey, whatever.
I had a good time. Avienda would have been better on the back, honestly.
Sure.
That's you didn't say at the time. Anyway, so so Matt starts heading towards the village, and they get there, and immediately announces that he wants to speak to the Armelin, and yeah,
he's kind of riding up in there, and everybody's staring. He's like, "Oh, they already know." So
yeah,
I might as well get to the point of this because I'm already tired of waiting.
Take me to your
not
theater.
enough times. Hold on. How many times has Alan told this story on the podcast? Not enough times.
You'll probably get it 2 or 3 more times.
Oh no, we got how many more years? You're gonna get the story a bunch more times. This is one of my highlights of my life. Is riding press against Ian on the back of his motorcycle. Yeah, I will never.
We're waiting 6 more episodes to bring up the youth tent again. That's in the spreadsheets.
You know, that's top 5.
So
top 5. Anyway,
so first, I want to know why Avienda was so interested in Oliver.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, so Shido killed his father and his mother died of hunger. Are you sure? What do you really know about him? So that kind of just like threw me. And he's like, why do you feel like you owe him? Because Aiel killed his family. She's like, oh, I don't have no toe with that guy. Like, he's just a child, and I had nothing to do with it. So no, I have no toe. But clearly.
Wonder if they got some prophecy that involves a child like that.
Maybe that's a good question.
Yeah.
And then, so he didn't come in looking for the Amelie. He came in specifically looking for the 3 girls he came for. And he was told, I'll see if the Amelie will see you. He's like, well, I guess that'll work. Like, all right, cool. Let's
start at the
let's
top.
do
Sure.
this. Yeah. Little does he know.
Yeah. And then he enters the Amelin's office with Nynaeve. Nynaeve like reads him.
Wait.
What the hell
Can we go over the most annoying part of this chapter with these freaking Aes Sedai? When they're kind of waiting and they notice Avienda, and of course they can notice that Avienda can channel. So they're getting all up in her grill, be like, "Oh my goodness," and da 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 da, and let it like.
Well, first they got into Matt's grill. The one girl's like, "Oh my god, I see it," and they're like, "Yeah, I see it," and she's like, "I see it."
Oh yeah,
she can see Tavir in this.
Yeah, you found your first talent. You can see Tavir,
and announce it loudly enough that, of course, everybody can hear. So that was no accident.
Yeah.
So they blow him up, and then they're all up in Avienda's grill. Like, how do they? If they know they're low on numbers and they're trying to recruit, how is that your recruiting method? Just barraging somebody and being super annoying. Like, I would not want to join a group like that if that was my introduction to them.
Yeah. And then Nynaeve comes out, which is funny interaction too.
Oh, right off the bat, old school. So this is straight comedy here forward for the next few pages. She just goes straight back to Two Rivers, wool-headed this and blah, blah, blah. And what are you doing here? I'm a general. Well, you could generally like stop pretending to be someone you're not, Matt, and get your ass in here. Like,
Right. And then they walk in and find Egwene and Elaine in there and see Egwene with the stole on her shoulders. And Matt immediately thinks it's a joke. He's like, you guys are funny. You guys are hilarious.
You've gone
Like,
way too far. When they
far.
find this out, they're gonna
They're
kill
be
us.
so
Like,
much trouble. It's just, it's like, hey,
cut
listen,
that shit out.
let's just cut to the chase. The reason why I'm here is all you guys, you're coming back with me. Rand wants you in Camlin and Lane. You're coming with me. I'm going to drag you back there. Many of you can come in too. Gawain, you know what? Take the stole off. You're
And he's like,
Stop
maybe
playing
you-
around.
Like,
He's like,
quit
maybe you
playing
think
around.
this is
Come on.
funny, but they'll have your hide for that. No, we got to get that off. Like, he's freaking out because he wants nothing to do with the situation to begin with. And then here he is
Yeah.
with 3 girls that he feel like are pulling his leg.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I would be frustrated too, like walking into that situation. The other part is he didn't even give time for them to speak, because had he let
No.
them speak, they could have been like, "Hey, this is a real thing. Like, I am who I am." I don't think he would have agreed with it. I don't think he would have believed them, but at least he could have gotten the information before getting berated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you could kind of remember with them getting barraged with all the Aes Sedai coming up ahead of time, and Taviran and pull Avienda away. Like, the emotions are already kind of riled up, and then Nynaeve didn't really do a great job of setting the tone for good communication either. I'm not trying to blame any one party, but she's right off the bat scolding Matt, this, that, and the other. Like, it'd have been nice, and I won't talk about the lack of communication here, poor communication, but would have been nice if they would have all realized, hey, we've all gone through a lot in this last, year, 2 years, however long it's been since they've seen each other.
Right.
Each one individually knows that they've changed a lot, but they're not allowing their perspective of the people around them to change as easily, if that makes sense. Like, why should they be so surprised that Matt has ended up where he's at, considering where they are versus where they
Right.
started? Like,
Yeah.
like, why should it be that big of a surprise? But they won't even consider that Matt could possibly be doing what he's doing right now, and vice versa.
Yeah. And obviously during this, I mean, after Matt announces that he's there to save him, and definitely now that Egwene's playing at Amerlin, and I love the fact that he even says, like, they put up Amerlin here. Whoever that stupid girl is, or fool of a girl, or something. He says something along those lines. And then right as that line is delivered, a novice named Tabitha walks into the room and is like, "Should I bring wine for the general, mother?" It's like, Matt's just jaw drops. It's great. It's good comedy. That's great.
Wait, what? I could, Jordan writes through it really quickly. I'd love to know more of what's going on in Matt's head, like as it's starting to click of what happened.
It's just sheer dumbfoundedness. Like, there's nothing going on in his head. He's staring like
you're in headlights.
Yeah.
But Aes Sedai are his enemy, more so than Rand thinks Aes Sedai are his enemy. In Matt's perspective, they are 100% his enemy. He wants absolutely nothing to do with them. But now he's on this mission for Rand to bring a Aes Sedai back. And one of his childhood friends is the freaking Amerlin seat. Like, that's a lot to deal with.
Right.
I love you, but I hate you. Like, how does that? Yeah. Oh, and to the title of the chapter, one, if not all, of the girls tried channeling on him
Right.
early on when he's flipping out, and none of it worked. And that's when he talks about his medallion. He could tell when people are trying to channel on him because it gets really cold. Yeah.
Well, and they say it's like the power dissolved when it touched him.
Yeah.
The flow's just.
That's an interesting way to describe it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just fell apart.
But how can the weaves just disappear? It's almost like it creates a little force field around him. Well, they got to go somewhere. I still feel like our basic understanding of physics still applies here.
Yeah.
You can't be created or destroyed.
You ever took a flame to thread? What happened? They just melt away.
No.
They curl up a little bit.
But you see the smoke.
Yeah.
So matter isn't being created or destroyed.
Are we getting physics about this?
Right. Yeah.
What is happening with it? It's just changing, right?
Yeah.
So
that's that's a good answer right here. This is a good answer.
Rafa.
Yeah.
Daggone it.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking though, like
I like that.
it
Maybe we
disappears,
find out
but
more what it does.
The thing it's cold against his chest. So I'll come up with a theory.
Yeah.
I think the flows go somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just that medallion transfers them from there to somewhere else.
Well, it like it's like a where's the word I'm looking for? Like a cooling coil, like an AC unit. Like it just pulls the power out, so then everything around it gets cold, and the energy just kind of dispels.
Ooh. Even better, what if it stores it?
That would be awesome.
And then at some
And
point,
then Matt
he
can
or
use
somebody
it to
finds a way to
blast.
release the power.
That would be
That'd
crazy.
be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Raffo.
Like redirect it
Rafa.
with his staff. And talking about the one he holds in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might hold that one in his hand too.
So that's how we end this chapter with Matt's mouth on the floor, jaw on the floor, and just an utter shock.
Matt,
So,
close your mouth before you catch flies.
yep.
None you says
That's
it's deep
perfect.
satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
He's also got to be thinking, all right, I knew this wasn't going to be easy, but now it just got really difficult.
Rand gave him a damn near impossible task to begin with, and now it's even worse. So
So much worse.
yeah.
He's got, yeah.
He's like, you got the luck of the Taviran, like you should be able to get this done.
Yeah.
And
That
he's
might
gonna
help
get
him
it
a little
done.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you guys ready to move on to the final chapter?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Chapter 39 Possibilities. All of the possibilities. Is this worse than choices?
All right. Here's a riddle for you. When you have
I like
three,
riddles.
you have 3.
Mhm.
When you have 2, you have 2. When you have 1, you have none.
Mm.
Choices.
Choices.
Is it?
Ah.
That's
Oh,
that's
sure.
why I hated all the choices chapters, and this is why possibilities suck also. Like their worlds are colliding, and it's kind of like a chain of events are just going to unfold. Things are slowly but surely, as much as each individual is trying to control what happens and they have a game plan, they can't all happen. And it's not like one is just going to dominate the rest. Like it's just going to be chaotic. Anyways, Lord of Chaos. Here we go.
Yep. Thank you, Bilbo Ian.
You spelled dildo wrong. It's with a D. With the D.
With the D. All right. So chapter 39, possibilities, and with just the wheel time symbol. And we start right where we left off. Now that Matt knows that Egwene's the rebel Amerlin, Egwene reclaims her stole and adjusts it.
Her
and-
chair. She's like, Matt, my chair. Matt, get your ass up. That's my chair. And
Yeah.
he's like, really?
Yeah,
like-
really? Oh shit.
Okay. Yeah, imagine what's going through his mind though. A year ago, she was a sniveling little girl in his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's
But
no
that's what
other way
I'm
of
saying.
doing
They've
it.
all changed so much.
Drastically.
Yeah.
I'd feel like when they got in a room together, instead of like trying to position, they were like, wouldn't they run up to each other and be like, you would not believe what has happened to me. You have, this
Exactly.
is so freaking cool. Y'all ain't
That's a
gonna
cool
believe
thing.
this, but no shit. Not only am I a general of armies, but when I get in fights, like I accidentally whoop everybody's ass. Like I don't even think about it. Like it's over and everybody's dead and I'm just there. It's great.
Yeah.
Girls would be like, well, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. Like that would have been cool, but no.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trying to-
Well, Matt does react. I mean, he loses it. He says that's madness. This is insane. Like, you guys are all going to end up with your heads cut off. Like, I think this is actually like, this is like, what are you doing? Do you realize that you're rebels and you're not the leader of the rebels? You're going to be dead. Like, and Nynaeve actually ends up kicking Matt, which is great. causes
Right
the
in
other
the
two
shin.
girls to laugh.
That's the worst
And
pain, by the way.
getting kicked in the
Getting
ass.
kicked in the shin.
Oh, shin. Yeah, and shin.
Shin. Well, calves. Or have you ever had your
Yeah.
biceps
Oh, yeah.
stepped on? Did you ever dabble in rugby?
No.
Biceps
Well,
stepped on. That sucks.
Calves suck too.
Yeah, calves.
I
are
played,
pretty
but I
bad.
never hit the ground. I was like, I refuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shins,
I don't
definitely
imagine you going to the ground very much. See,
No.
I went to the ground often.
Yeah.
I bounced off of people. If I couldn't outrun you, trouble.
I mean, I've been tap danced on by like a huge, like 300-pound guy. So
Ooh.
that was
Yeah, that was priceless.
well, that was my fault. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't stomp on a big guy's jacket. And I've told that story on this podcast before. We're gonna recycle stories over the next 5 years. We've run out of them, so get used to it, guys.
I'll think of a new one every now and then.
We have to create news stories. What happened over the weekend, Ian? I have kids, so it's all our kids' stories. Let's see. Yeah, Matt's angry at this point. Egwene tells Matt that they're in quite the predicament. He has a whole army of Dragonsworn. Matt's like, Dragonsworn? We're not Dragonsworn.
We're the opposite of that. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's like, well, you follow Rand, right? And it's like, well, I guess they do Dragonsword. Well, oh. She has a point, but that's not really what we are. But yeah, it kind of goes back and forth a little bit. And he's like, listen, we don't want to have a battle here. I just Rand's orders. I'm trying to get Elaine at least back. Can we at least do that?
Yep.
Yeah. What also, Matt quickly, he's like, okay, everything you said doesn't change my plans. And I think my plans still work for everybody. He's like, if y'all keep doing this, you get yourself killed. So why don't you just come with me anyways? Like, still, we need to just get out of here and go and get Elaine to Camelin. Everybody can come.
Right.
Let's go.
Right. Let's all go. Yeah.
Mhm.
And Egwene says she'll think about it, which means that she won't. And yeah. She's trying to figure out a way to. I mean, the whole thing. She's trying to figure out a way to reclaim the White Tower without any bloodshed.
Good luck.
She needs to get over that.
What?
No
Reclaim the White
Trying
Tower?
to do without bloodshed.
There,
Oh,
it's gonna
without bloodshed.
happen.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you threaten it,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the tone she's starting to take with people. So
I mean, she's
Yeah.
gonna get her seat back. We know that.
Yeah.
And she'll get the Angry Owls with that. But it's how they deal with Elida is the question.
And to answer your question, Dana, yes, it wasn't the calf, it was the ass. But
yeah,
Oh,
You know,
was it?
yeah,
I like calf better.
calves hurt more than an ass. I mean, kicking
Right.
the
I
ass is
said
not a big
chin
deal,
anyway,
but-
so
it's a good kick. You almost immediately cramp. That's why it's so bad.
yeah.
Anyway, so we're rewriting Jordan there for a second, because shins hurt more than asses.
Little fan fiction.
Yeah,
She
little fan
punches him in the ear.
Matt gets fed up and leaves at some point. He's like, yeah, whatever.
You're
Elaine
not
that-
gonna listen to me, so when you're ready to listen to me, you know where I'm at. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
When you're
I'm
ready
gonna
to
stick
listen to
around.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elaine, I still intend to take you back to Camelin. And then he leaves. And then after he leaves,
Well, he asked about Tom.
he does. Yeah, he asked for Tom.
As he's walking out,
what,
he's
get
like,
drunk
yeah,
with
I'm
him?
stomping out. By the way, is Tom around? Is he still here? Yeah. Okay, cool. Now I'm still mad. I'm going to go talk to Tom.
Yeah, like he's probably just gonna go drink with them. And the three girls, once he leaves, starts trying to figure out what they're gonna deal with Matt, the Band of the Red Hand, Gareth Bryn's army, and trying to figure out all this stuff. And that's when Elaine suggests, well, why don't we just take Matt to Evidar with them? Hey,
Saw this coming. I think this is the best option right now.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Well, will he go for it is really the question. And what is he gonna do with his army? He can't take a whole army. And that being said, are they gonna travel or are they gonna travel?
Right. And they talk about like marching north and how that'll look like they're marching on the White Tower, and that might be a bad, escalate things where she's not trying to escalate things yet too.
Yeah.
And trying to
So
move-
Matt can do sneaky if he needs to do sneaky. If they
Right.
get Avienda to go with them, Avienda clearly could do sneaky.
Mhm.
But it would have to be a smaller party. You're right.
But I don't think 100 Aes Sedai and a whole Gareth Bryn army could be sneaky.
No.
Right. No. So, well, but then what happens to the band? Does Matt leave the band with your buddy, Timanis, or not Timanis? Who is it?
Timanis.
Oh,
Or
it's
Daedrin.
Timanis. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, you just hang out here with Gareth Bryn and y'all do your stuff and be nice and make friends, and we're gonna go on this mission. That would be odd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Aviendar's looking more and more like the right way to going. Do you think Matt will go for it?
I think so. Matt's still mission focused. I mean, as much as he could be concerned about Egwene, that's still not his mission. If Egwene stays, he doesn't fail. The only way he fails is if Elaine does not make it to Camelin.
I'm leaving that up the rest of the episode, by the way.
It's just going to stay up. Timanis rules. I guess it's okay.
Timanis rules.
Yeah, I could see him going for it. If that's the compromise to be made. Like, hey,
for sure.
I would think Elaine would have to give her word that, hey, if you go with us to do this and retrieve this, then I will go to Camelin. And then he'd buy it. And I think everybody is enough a person of their word that
by the time they go,
they would trust one another.
Egwene would have it set up to where they would all be going.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think Egwene can dip out though. Egwene can't do sneaky
she's gonna
stuff
pick
anymore.
Up everybody in Salidar and all of them really go.
Oh, the whole shebang. Now that's possible. And so that's going a huge tangent, but Egwene's already talked about how, like, okay, yeah, here locally, boom, you're the Amyrlin, yeah, the Amyrlin, and the people here see it, but the world needs to see it, and the world needs to believe it. So her moves in the world right now can't be small, can't be sneaky and stealthy. She needs to be seen, and she needs to do significant things. So if she moves, it's going to be with the armies. Right. I think she's going to try and get the band to join with Gareth Bryn, and yeah, that would be very advantageous to her.
She even says, I mean, so in the next scene when Shiriam shows up, she even thinks that Gareth Bryn's army won't put up with the Dragonsworn, with the band. Because they're still lumping them in with the Dragonsworn, which are different people.
Those are, you know what I think of with Matt's reaction? It's like, I try not to talk politics with people too much. Because I mostly identify as libertarian, but that is such a huge spectrum, and there's weird libertarians, and they believe all sorts of things. So people ask me specific questions. They're like, well, do you want to lower taxes? And I'm like, yeah, I want to lower taxes. They're like, well, you're a Republican. And I'm like, ew, why would you say that? Like, just because there's one thing. I feel like that was Matt's like, well, yeah I'm kind of doing a couple of things for Rand, but that doesn't mean I'm a Dragonsworn. Why would you say that? Ew.
Say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works on all, especially political spectrums. You're right. You could say that about a lot of.
You can very easily get pulled into the political game and never find a way out.
Yeah.
I mean, I have friends that are like super, super liberal, like further than, you call them a Democrat and they get really upset. They're like, no, I'm communist.
No, more than that.
Like, I have a friend, he actually identifies as a communist. That's his whole thing. Yeah, which also, by the way, I know he doesn't listen to our podcast, but he's a comedian in Richmond. So when he first started coming out about the whole communist stuff, I thought it was just part of an act. like I didn't know whether he's serious or not, because he's
a funny shtick.
Yeah, he's a comedian by trade. I mean, literally, that's what he does for a living. So I was like, oh, this is a good get. And I was like, oh, no, you're serious? Okay, I guess this is interesting.
Yeah,
see how far this goes.
It's a train wreck that you can't help but watching.
Yeah.
As an extreme, I consider myself a centrist, which a lot of people get upset about. Like, ew, centrist. I'm like, just
trying to find balance. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I find good things on both sides.
Sometimes a term I don't know actually.
Yeah, what, a centrist?
Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
They don't really exist.
They don't really
anymore.
exist. Yeah. The ones that don't really pick sides. Yeah.
Nobody likes them because every time somebody speaks, Alan goes, I can see where you would think that. You make a good point.
I do that.
And then somebody else says
supposed
something
to get
opposite.
angry with me. I'm like, no, if you make a valid point, I'm going to agree with you.
That's a good argument. Yeah. Make a good case. I'm curious how that might play out. Let's roll the dice.
Let's roll the dice. See what happens. Yeah. But anyway, enough politics talk. Let's move on to the last part where Sharon comes in, and they have this whole conversation about what to do. And she wants to know what would happen with Matt. And Gwen says, well, Rand wants the rebels Aes Sedai to swear fealty to them, and they have a really,
Sheriam was very excited about that.
yeah.
Oh yeah, she was like fully supporting it.
Not somebody.
Yeah,
just asked,
sure.
Did somebody say the B word?
Yeah, they're trying. They're trying to get us to do
But
it.
hasn't come up this episode.
It hasn't come up. You have to wait till actually she shows up. By the way, they want us to do Bella.
Now she is always in our hearts. This Tamanis thing, I don't know, but Bella's always in our hearts. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
yeah.
funny. Now they're really definitely trying to run game on these different factions. Speaking of like government and parties and policies and plans, we've got all these different Aes Sedai that are angling to have things their way through their control of Egwene. Egwene is trained enough with the wise ones to be fully aware and competent and to make decisions without it being like showing on her face, because she used to be that person where you could tell her intentions by just looking at her. And now she's like, oh yeah, sure, let's do this, let's do that. And then the final approval comes through and she's like, decline. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, what do you think about her reaction to about the swearing fealty to Rand? Like she's horrified by it. Like, I mean, not only should Egwene said she said no to Matt, but still, like the whole reaction to that. Do you think they're going to need to eventually? I mean, what do you think?
We've talked about this before. Like, how is Rand going to actually be successful if he is, in fact, the Dragon Reborn with the potential to, save the world or destroy it? If we're wanting him to save the world, we've talked about how it's probably going to take a unification of like all beings in this world, right? Or pretty darn close to it. As powerful as the Aes Sedai are, I would think they'd have to join up with them. At least some of them. The female Aes Sedai, I should say. So,
no, I agree with you. That's why I said in the beginning, like, I feel like she's going to try to find a way to get the whole army to join up with Rand her whole army to join up with Rand as soon as possible. But she's got to do so in a very tricky way. So,
if you're a female Aes Sedai, like Sheriam is, if you actually believe that Rand is the Dragon Reborn and only he has the power to save or destroy the world, and we know this time is now, it is now in our lifetime, why wouldn't you serve him? If you're working against him, how is that helping save the world? Do you not believe in the prophecies? Do you not believe he's the actual Dragon Reborn? Or are you just so full of yourself that you refuse? Do you think you're somehow greater than the Dragon Reborn? Or is there a part of their prophecy we don't understand?
Damn, you beat me to it, because that's where I was going. Maybe there's more of the prophecy that we don't know as readers that they don't want.
I know they want to be able to control him, manipulate him, guide him, whatever word you want to use, but yeah.
Good luck.
I don't know. Good luck. Good luck trying to control Egwene.
Yeah.
They got no idea. This whole interaction between Egwene and Sheriam and talking about the armies and should they march, and Sheriam's like, oh, that's kind of a bold move for early on. And she's like, yeah, but, or Egwene's like, yeah, but what about the Dragonsworn? Gareth Bryn, we were supposed to go stomp them all out. And Sheriam catches herself. Yeah. Sheriam's like, well, he's going to do whatever we tell him. I mean, whatever you tell him, sort of thing. And you could see Egwene starting to, her eyes are wide open. She knows that everybody's trying to control her and manipulate her, but she's starting to plant the seeds to be able to fight back. She even talks about how she can't wait. And not that she dislikes Sheriam. She says Sheriam would actually be a really good keeper, probably even a good Amyrlin, but she can't wait for that moment to put her in her place as the keeper. and this is just like the beginning of that. You know,
And she ends up, I mean, somewhat manipulating Shiriam into deciding to move north towards Tarvala.
Yep, and almost makes it seem like it's her idea.
Her
Well,
idea, yeah.
with everything you've told me, logic states we must. Thank you, Shiriam.
Yeah,
I really
alright.
value your wisdom and input. That's, I
So
guess,
next, so but in this
Armland's
book,
got to do what an Armland's got to do, right? Hey,
do you think we're marching on Tarvalon by the end of this book? The city that's never
that
been
might be their.
captured.
They said that that's where they were on their way to, but I have a
Like
feeling
this,
we're going to get something in between.
What's this place with the Angriel or Tongriel? Abu Dar?
Abadar. Mhm.
Abadar. And that's on the way to.
No, Abadar's on
Tarvalon?
south. It's the exact opposite direction.
Okay,
Yeah, if you look at the nice little maps.
gotcha.
Yeah, from where they are. Oh, let's look at the map. Salidar, Abadar is southwest. So if you look at the map, Salidar is down right above Altara, where you see it says Altara in the south. So Salidar, and then
Gotcha.
Abadar's on the coast. Down there, it's just south. And they mentioned the ruler here, Thailand, as well, saying that she'll never stand for that if you try to march. We're trying to win over people here. If we bring a whole army down to Abadar, that's not a good idea
Gotcha. Yeah.
because we need their support if we're going to win back the tower. So
The whole Merchant of Tarvalon might be their intention. Like I said, I think Egwene's also waiting for a moment, and she even talks about it here, waiting for a moment to seize opportunity to be Amerlin, do something Amerlin to stand out.
Well, and we know more than they know. We know it's a horrible idea because there are literally Aes Sedai and Wait that are part of the Black Aja that will attack them.
Yeah.
If they make it. And
they
there
have-
are other. Well, I'm assuming they probably have some traps that the Aja set up.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
for
we
this
know
occasion.
we know there are two Forsaken in Salidar right now. One's in a collar, the other one's free, and then we know there's at least one's Forsaken in the White Tower right now.
Right. Yeah.
So
That'd be a heck of a battle.
we know that as a reader.
Yeah,
None of them
I don't know exactly what it is, but I get the vibe that might be their intent, what they start to do, but something crazy is going to kick off and they're going to redirect or like just get forced into some other situation.
Okay.
So,
And that's how we end this chapter. Them deciding to march towards Tarvalon.
There's a lot
I-
little in these chapters.
I'd still like to see Rand, Gateway or Traveler, whatever he does, with a handful of channeling dudes and a handful of channeling dudettes, and just go straight into Tarvalon and the White Tower and be like, bzz, bzz, all right, this is Egwene's now.
But you got Black Eye or Dark Eye, Shaddai, or whatever you want to call them. You have people in there, so they have wards set up to alert them if anybody gets in. Because I thought it was genius, the idea of them creating a way to travel directly into the tower. But at the same time, I'm like, that's suicide, because the minute you do it, these dark friends are going to know, because they've got Forsaken on their side and they know how to set those type of wards up. It might even pull you out of your travel and maybe dump you somewhere you don't want to be, right in the midst of a bad army or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I think everything they're planning to do, we're going to have one of those end of chapters where it's like, and they all got on their horses and set off. And then the next chapter is going to be like, little did they know, and just utter chaos and everything takes a turn.
Right.
That's what's coming up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they don't know there's so many.
in
They
those
don't know about the
pages.
dark friends that are in the tower.
True that. Well,
Already
probably
they're
suspect.
making bad decisions.
Yeah. And who knows what happens when they find this Trongriel or Ungriel or Songriel or whichever one it is.
It's a bowl.
Yeah. It could really change things.
A bowl full of cloudy, misty water. It makes you just feel good.
We got in the journey is what matters. The goals are often bad. If mind could store it all information. Actually, I think what's important, what matters is the friends you met along the way. That's
Haven't you seen
Yeah.
the hobbits in that one weird scene where they're all like, "Oh my god, you survived"?
And not all that wander are lost.
yeah, good old Tolkienism.
I don't know. Whenever I wander, it's because I'm lost.
Yeah, I normally too.
And I wander a lot.
Although Matt seems pretty lost. He has not ended up anywhere he's wanted to go ever in this book, ever.
No,
At all.
That's
No.
true.
Not once.
no.
Very
Every
true.
time he's like, I want to go do this, and he's about to do it, he gets pulled somewhere else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's even better, Skeeter. Thank you. Oh, the dark fringe you met along the way. Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, hey, pour one out for Pater, guys. Pour one out for Pater.
You know, I fully
There
expect
you go.
Alan to dye his hair black at the end of this book and
Mhm.
wear
Yeah.
wear a
Peel
dark
your fingernails
cape with
black and
short-
yeah,
that'd
we're
be
gonna
hilarious.
have My Chemical Romance play on blast in the background.
Little emo
Don't you worry.
Alan.
Don't you worry.
We're gonna do a GoFundMe. That way we can have all the money for your makeup and nails.
There you go. Did I ever tell you about that story for Halloween? I went as an emo kid. Like I dyed my hair black and fingernails, the whole thing. Wore a black shirt with black pants and went to a Halloween party. And I got in character so much that like one of my friends actually called me up the next day. I was like, dude, are you okay? Like you seemed like really bad last night. I was like, no, I was in character, dude. He's like, oh, 'cause I
Meanwhile,
thought,
you're
you're like
nailed it.
nailed it. Yes.
Such a good
Like they
job.
come up to me like, and they're like, hey, Al, how's it going? I was like, oh, no, life sucks, man.
Yeah, are you with them? So, okay.
I was in character the entire time. It was in college. It was a good time.
That's perfect.
So yeah, that's it for this chapter. So anything else that we missed or anything else you think of?
Probably.
Not for me.
Probably. Yeah.
There's
Um,
again a lot, but a little. It was all just really building up to this point of her making the decision. We're going to try to make two things work. We're going to try to get him to go with you guys to Salidar, and then we'll go with him to accomplish whatever goal he has. But at the end of the day, I'll be able to fulfill my goal by sending around an army and connecting him with the Aes Sedai. You know, because I am Aes Sedai, so if he wants to talk to them, they can talk to me first. So many small things.
yeah, Pater. He's just a small town boy, born and raised in South Endor. He took the midnight wagon going anywhere.
Anywhere.
To the Dark Friend concert.
Speaking of Journey, yeah. So, favorite character?
You know,
Yeah.
it should be Egwene
It
for so
should
many
be.
reasons. I am gonna do Matt though, really for the comedy portion.
Really?
I died laughing when Matt was in there. Was like, "What are you doing? Oh my gosh!" When they see you, and just, I don't know. I could just picture it, and it was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My person of this chapter was oh man. Our Aiel friend. What is her name? Avienda.
Avienda?
Mm.
Hmm.
Because she didn't
Girl on a
snap
mission.
the way I expected her to snap and go off, and she was really calm and collected, and she composed herself very well. I expect for her to go off as soon as she, talks her business with her people.
Yeah.
Actually, I
Well,
don't know.
remember, you can't let Matt's interpretation of what he thinks happening affect what you think Avienda's there to do.
Mhm.
Matt's got it all wrong. She's not there to pick a fight or start some shit. She's there for some toe, for some big toe.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
the
Yep.
biggest of toe.
And we all know my favorite. Yep.
Who's
Tamales
wait?
rolls.
Who's that?
Oh,
Are those similar to tamales? Is that what they're
Tamales,
eating at
hot
the camp,
tamales.
around the campfire?
Yeah, exactly.
I
Good
like
old
tamales.
Tamales are good. They are.
Yeah.
Hot tamale. Yeah. So next time we'll be doing 3 chapters again. We're on the 3 train for a while because they're shorter chapters. A lot happens in
Giggity.
these, but they're yeah.
Good old threesome.
The threesome. A menage chapter. And we'll be doing chapter 40, 41, 42, which is Unexpected Laughter, A Threat, and The Black Tower.
Unexpected
I was
laughter.
actually
That's
asked,
somebody going crazy.
it's not unexpected. It's Rand.
Got to be
Okay.
going crazy.
It's Rand. Now, I will say I had lunch with a friend, and he was very interested in the Black Tower and was wondering why I was not interested. I'm like, well, right now they're not doing anything for real. They're just training. When they engage, if they actually like show they have some cojones, then I'll follow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And
maybe we'll get
you
next
got to feel
week.
like that's only a matter of time. The way they've been progressing, like, I don't know. I guess maybe we'll get something cool this book, but it might not be till next book.
Yeah. This is the first mention technically of the Black Tower, besides the Black Tower coming on our podcast. The Black Tower
Yeah, I was
podcast.
about to say, I don't even know. Like, I had an issue with that name too. I don't know why they called him the Black Tower. They just called him like the Male Tower or the other tower.
Maybe we'll
Simply
find out.
because I affiliate Black with the Dark Friends. I'm like, they're not. They're not
Black
mean,
Aja.
They're not negative. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Or are they?
The well endowed tower, the
oh,
girthy
let's see. Now,
tower.
that's a good question. I know at least a couple of them are not.
Yeah.
Well, remember, we had our thoughts if how risky it is if Taim is actually Dark Friend or Forsaken, and he's training all of these male channelers that could take a horrible turn for the worse. And then it's just Rand and Logain.
Yeah,
That's it.
definitely.
And Owen.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think one thing I was going to do at the end of this episode was I am going to do a giveaway, so for people that actually stick through us and listen to the whole entire thing. Yeah, and I asked Skeeter to be kind of hunting through the comments this entire time. I didn't tell him why, so he didn't even know what he was picking. To look for a good comment that was made during the show to give away a free coffee mug. We're doing Floaty's coffee mug. And
Please let it be Dana's comment that Alan has told the same story 10 times.
Well, he never done 3, so it's going to be tough now. Now I have to pick 3. You're supposed to pick 1. You failed your assignment, Skeeter. So he said,
but now you have choices. If it was just one, it wouldn't be a choice.
Yeah. So we got some well-timed Raffos from Boley. We have Wadaholic, and then also Amis for a good Bilbo Ian.
It was a great riddle.
Yeah.
It was a good riddle.
Skeeter, I didn't fail. I overachieved. Yes.
3 times the awesomeness.
I didn't tell you why I was asking you to do it, so it's fun. So how about this? Everyone wins. All 3 of you will get something. I'll get
big ball.
Yeah, we'll just do big giveaway. And just give away to Bully, Amis, and Wadahawk, which I thought about disqualifying Wadahawk because I know how much it costs to ship to Australia, but you know what? I love you. We'll ship you something.
It's on the
way. You're in 3 months, but it's coming.
No, it comes actually pretty fast. I've shipped things there before. It goes pretty fast. It
That's
costs
cool.
a lot.
All right.
I sent one of our patrons a sticker, and it's a $10 sticker with $70 of shipping. So
yeah, awesome.
My heart.
Sticker.
It's like
hire
my
some
wedding
pigeons or some albatrosses and send them that way.
again, just like my wedding.
Why do you have to live in an island so far away? It's a
continent.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
It's the size of the United States. It's gigantic.
It's practically sitting on their own plate.
Is it really? I've never really paid that any attention. When we look at
Australia's the same size as
continent.
large. Yeah, continent of the United States, but the same size.
Oh, okay.
No, if you're in the UK, that's fine. UK's fine too. We ship to UK all the time.
We're happy to, and it's a floaties mug.
Yeah,
that's my
not
favorite.
Frosty one. Not a Frosty one. The coffee.
Oh, the coffee mug. That's still very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So We'll ship away. Not a big deal. We'll make it happen. It'll probably be sometime next week when I get around to doing it. But yeah, we'll
you get it as a Christmas present.
Yeah, by the time it gets all the way over there. Yeah, so that's it for that's ready to wrap it up. I guess you guys are ready.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to add? Chris, you okay there?
Sorry. Yep.
Blame it on the
Sorry.
cats.
Yeah.
Those
Sure.
cats.
Those cats. All right. How we can found us at thewheelreads.com. I'm going to keep it short. That's how we found us. just go there. You get links to everything there. I mean, literally it has links to our Discord, has links to merchandise, Patreon, all that fun stuff. Come join us on Patreon. Come join us on Discord. We are going to be we need to do another live reaction.
Yeah, if you're in the Charlotte area, I'd love to go to lunch with you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But what was I gonna say? Discord, Patreon.
Live reaction.
Oh, yeah, live reaction. Thank you. I completely lost. Yeah, the problem is that I was gonna try to put one in, but we're so close to the end that I want to do one for the end that I'm just gonna probably wait at this point. Just do.
Okay.
We'll just save that to the end because it's only a few weeks away. Or months, depending on if we take off. So maybe we'll do another one. We'll see. I'll get with these guys.
I will
come join us.
I will say this: during the honeymoon week, we're maybe coming home Thursday night or Thursday during the day. So I could potentially record Thursday. Could definitely record on Friday. So there's that way we won't have to miss a week. It'll just be later in the week.
Okay.
Well, we can play it by ear, and if it's honeymoon week and we have to cancel, that is the most acceptable excuse any of us have ever had.
Unless somebody gives us some money to where like we can go have a real honeymoon, like don't get me wrong, I love Crabtree Falls, but I can go there anytime. If somebody gives us some money to where we can go elsewhere, then that's a different story. Then peace, deuces,
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Sounds good. Well, that's all I got, guys.
Until next time.
Peace.
Okay, bye. Tamanus rocks.